What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to Rant, episode 30, a historic podcast. We specialize in everything historic with a little splash of brawl and standard as well. We are the Dorks. I am Hoshi, disciple of Tom Cruise, urban farmer, raiser of chickens, and drinker of booze. So many titles. And tonight, my co-host is a man who blames his misplays on his alternate personality, who he calls Little Kitty Girl. We have Drunken Dork.
What? First of all, could you give yourself any more praise? That's what I want to say. Like, did you want to add like big penis in there, or I don't big
wasn't
giant
say that.
Massive brain of 290 IQ, maybe something like that.
I like where your head's at. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no problem. And thanks. Yeah, I don't even. What's my alter persona? What is it?
Little Kitty Girl.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes
she's making your misplays, man.
When me and my wife are being kinky, that's what I. That's what I.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I know. See, I knew I heard it somewhere. And for the person that is missing here tonight, our other co-host, Apollo, he's not going to be here tonight because he is getting kicked out of his apartment. So he has to pack right now for what is being called, his eviction notice said, and I quote, strong gamer odor. So that's, yeah. So that's...
Yikes.
I know, that's rough.
Is that smell like when you go to a Magic Fest, or like a big, like one of those smells, like that you can smell wafting out of the convention centers, like from 3 blocks away?
Exactly, but this one was so bad it was actually permeating the walls of his apartment into the other ones. Yeah, so they said they have to burn the place down and start over again. But he's out on the street, and it's cold out there, so. Stay warm, Apollo. We'll be here.
Yeah, buddy.
We'll be here whenever you get internet.
Yeah, do everyone a favor. Just take a shower, man. That's all it is. Shower with some soap, actually. You need to add that one in. Maybe showering, he just doesn't realize soap exists.
Soap plus water. Yes, both at the same time.
Yeah.
That's good. It's good. Yeah. That's good tips. Come here for your tips on general hygiene. So anyways, we are the Dorks. This is the Rant Podcast. And if you're new to the podcast, we follow the stages of Magic, the Gathering, right? So we have Upkeep, Untap, all that stuff, right? And then if you want to hop around the show, we'll put time hacks down in the description. So let's go over real quick what we're going to be going over tonight. So Untap, we're going to open up a drink. Then the Upkeep phase, we go over Mana Rant. The draw phase, we're going to talk really quickly about what Magic formats we've been playing this week, and then we'll have also those decks down in the description below if you want to use the decks that we've been playing. Our main phase tonight, we're going to be talking about the Vorinclex Walkers deck that I played this week, and we'll debate it and see what we'd maybe put in the sideboard or what changes we would make to the deck. For combat, we're going to go over Strixhaven stuff. Main phase 2, we play the horseshit card game, which is a lot of fun, and Apollo always loses it. It's great. And then end step, we'll just talk about other nerdy stuff generally that we're doing outside of the game of Magic. And then cleanup is just social stuff, and then discard is where we pound the drinks that we're drinking tonight. So that's it. That's what the show's going to look like if you want to hop around. But we're going to start off the show now, and we start every show off with the Untap phase. And Untap is where we open up a drink of our choice. And tonight, I am normally I go pretty spiffy with my drinks. I mix it up pretty good, but I have to go get the first COVID vaccine shot tomorrow, so
nice, good for you.
Yeah, I kind of have to get it because of my job. But yeah, I heard that kind of messes you up, so I'm keeping it light tonight with some Michelob Ultra seltzers. So yay.
Nice.
Nothing too exciting. What about you, Dork?
So I'm going back to light beer. Last week I had my heavy beer, but before that I was doing diet stuff. So I'm back on diet again, and I got a Dogfish Head light IPA.
Oh, light IPA, huh?
Yeah. So it's only 95 calories.
Yeah. For an IPA, huh?
Yeah. It's actually pretty good. And I have 2 beers here. This other one I'll open up later because I know I'm going to finish this beer in probably no time. Is this the Purist? It's a New Belgium light lager that's also 95 calories. So everyone's jumping on the light beer bandwagon, which I fucking love because I've been drinking a lot more beer since COVID started, and holy crap.
Haven't we all? Haven't we all? Yeah. Yeah, I've been hitting the whiskey a little bit harder, than normal. But there's no calories in whiskey, right? I'm sure.
No, I don't think so. You're good, man.
No, they're empty calories, right? That means they're not. That means they're not there. That's what I heard.
No, that's exactly how it works.
Okay, I thought so. I do come to you for my science advice, so that's where I go wrong, probably. All right. So that was our untap step. And then after untap, you move into the upkeep phase. And our upkeep phase is going to be our mana rant. And so mana rant is a little segment that we do every week where I dive into the internet and try and find lunatics, basically, or people complaining on the internet about Magic the Gathering, which if you've spent one day playing Magic the Gathering, you're well aware of. There are many people who have many complaints about this game. So it's not too hard to find stuff. I found some great ones this week. Facebook is a great place to find people really crying about Magic the Gathering, but unfortunately sometimes they come to their senses and they delete those posts. So I lost some real gems that I forgot to take screen captures of. So the one that we're going to dive into tonight is by one of the Magic Arena MTG admins, actually, Stax Rockman, who is also a content creator. He's a pretty good Magic player. He makes content. He posts a lot on this forum, and this one kind of cracked me up. So he says, "Am I the only person who has the pet peeve of hating when someone calls an always occurring on the field ability a passive ability? It's called a static ability, laugh out loud, not passive. I don't know where passive came from, but it irks me. I know it's not a big deal, and I'm not dunking on anyone who says it. Just saying, it's an MTG pet peeve of mine." And then he puts down, he's got like the actual quote of what a static ability is down there, like abilities in Magic. He quotes it in there. So yeah, it's pretty funny. What'd you think of this one, Dork?
I mean, this isn't one of our best Reddit rants.
No,
but yeah,
not by any
It's
means.
definitely a little ranty from this guy, and we ain't dunking on you, but we are dunking on you a little bit, Sax Rockman, for sure. Because this is a little bit on the ranty side, but yeah, I get it. Not Apollo. Hoshi made a good point. You're asking where it comes from, and many people say it in here. MMORPGs, man, that's where it comes from.
Yeah,
passive abilities on characters. Yeah, even though we both have been playing Magic the Gathering since the fucking 90s, we've also been playing MMOs since the dawn of those. Ragnarok, which was the 90s, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So,
and
like...
It's always passive abilities in there, you know? They don't call them static. Yeah, so...
So that's where it comes from. You are a little ranty on this. I'm not gonna lie.
Stacks, have you never played an MMO before, dude? Like, I mean, it's always the abilities that you're not actively using are passive on there. So I don't know. Yeah, this one cracked me up because that was the first thing that came to my mind. I was like, dude, MMOs. Come on, bro.
I mean, he definitely plays video games, I'm assuming, because I think Rockman is Mega Man, right?
Probably.
Sure.
Does Mega Man have passive abilities? I don't think so. I think they're all active.
So.
Yeah, I think they're all active. Yeah, so he wouldn't know. It's static or nothing for rocks.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so normally we get some better ones, but and I had a great one too about someone complaining about Arena or about Standard, basically. And I lost it though. I went to go click on it tonight and it was gone.
Bummer.
So yeah, oh well.
Bummer.
It happens. That's the downside about Facebook. When people post on Reddit, it's pretty much forever. So that's the downside of it there. All right, so that was our Reddit rant. If you have a better Reddit rant or something that you thought was pretty funny, feel free to send it our way. I love reading that stuff. I love, reading about lunatics and people ranting about, MTG stuff online. It just makes me feel good, So moving on, we're going to get into our draw phase now. And our draw phase is where we're going to talk about what things in Magic the Gathering we have been playing this week. So Drunken Dork, take it away. What have you been playing in Magic?
So by the time this comes out, well, actually, my video is already out. I've been net decking hard, all right? Like, I've been brewing a lot recently or before this week, and it's fun. I love jank. I like brewing. I like making interesting interactions. Like, it's really fun. That's why I play a lot of Commander. But I will say, getting those W's with the net deck feels really fucking good. Like, I'm not kidding. I played Selesnya life gain, and like, if you watch the video, I am just winning in the ladder, and it's crazy how consistent that deck is. It's a fucking really good deck in the meta right now. I don't know if Uro getting banned has anything to do with it. I don't think it does in Best of One so much because Uro, you didn't really see him too much in the Best of One. But I have been playing Best of Three just to see how that meta unfolded after Uro's ban, and that actually is a lot different because Uro was huge in that meta.
Yeah, oh for sure.
And it was what Sultai was like the dominating color or color combination, and so I was playing some Selesnya mid range in there, and it's a little it's not a life gain deck, and fuck dude, I also pulled that off the internet, and it's also been performing really well. It's crazy. I like I said, like after building jank for like a couple weeks straight and like, hitting a 50-50 win-loss ratio probably at the end of everything, going from that to like 7-1 win ratio is crazy. And that's in Diamond,
yeah.
It's not like I'm playing chumps. I'm playing people who are trying to get to Mythic. So,
yeah, nice.
It's been fun. And I've been playing a lot of Commander because I always play Commander on Spell Table.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah, the net deck video that you did is really good. The comment that one guy made on your post where you put it up where he's like lame net decking, nothing good here or whatever. It's like, dude, he's just killing it. Like every game you're winning basically, despite your terrible misplays.
Oh yeah.
No, you didn't. Dude, really
I get so fucking hammered sometimes in those videos. I don't know if it's obvious, but by the end of that video, I am like, yeah, I think I drank like 6 beers throughout that. So like I started and I was already like 2 deep, and then I had like 6 more, which is a lot. And they're light beers though. And so by the end I was like, whoa, like I fast forwarded through a lot of it, through a lot of the video itself, just because I was like saying some fucking random stupid shit that I edited out. Yeah, it's good stuff.
That's funny. You did a good job editing because you seemed coherent to me. At least like near the end, you can kind of tell you were getting a little fuzzy there, but not nearly as bad. The elf deck that you did, I almost had an aneurysm watching your misplays during one of the games.
Drinking my way to victory.
Me too. So this week I've been playing, I was playing the Vorinclex Walker deck. I put a video out on that, and it's a good deck. It's definitely one of those ones where it's like you have hit or miss days with that deck. Really bad. Like sometimes you just feel like you're unstoppable with it, and then other times it's just, it's just you get those rough days where it doesn't have a lot of card draw in it. I think that's one of the things. We'll get into that in the main phase when we look over it. And then I've been playing my elf deck, which I call my 6-pack abs elf deck, because it's got a Herald, king of 6-pack abs on there, and nice. Man, that deck, that's like, it's not a net deck, it's one that I put together, but I mean it's very close to like the the standard elf ball, like mono green version. I splash a little bit of black in there for Herald and for the Skemfar Avenger, but other than that, it's mainly just the mono green elf deck. And now it's like you're saying, it's just night and day between playing my like janky nonsense that I'm always coming up with, and then playing that thing. It just feels more consistent and strong all the time when I'm really trying to like level, or after just getting my ass handed to me on some nonsense that I just threw together. I'll be like, all right, I need a palate cleanser. Let's go to elves. Just smash somebody for 100 damage, and you're like, all right, that felt better.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, and I've been making a shrine deck. I don't know what inspired this. I think it was the loss of Uro, and there's just so many aggro decks out there right now. I've rarely run into control decks, and so I was wondering, is control like still a viable option? And while I was playing, I played against a shrine deck that was a full-blown shrine deck, and I realized I had no answers for their shrines. I'm not running enchantment removal or anything like that, so I thought it was a real like cool niche thing to do in best of one, because a lot of people don't main deck enchantment removal, right? So I think it's really strong there. And then with cards like Doomscar and everything that got added in, I think it makes and Authority of the Council, it makes control pretty viable for that, for enchantment. So I've been running it. It's going pretty well. I think it needs a little bit more tuning, but it's almost there. It's definitely, I'm ranking up on it. So
sweet.
So I've been, and no commander for me, unfortunately. I did pick up the new commander decks. I just haven't cracked them yet, but
yeah,
I'm excited to get into the elf one. It's
super fun.
It's my style. All right. So, like I was saying, the decks that we just talked about, they'll the links to our Aether Hub account will be down there, and we have those decks. If you want to check those out or give those a try, they will be in the description. All right. So, moving on, we're going to move into our main phase. And tonight, during our main phase, we're going to be talking about the Vorinclex Walkers deck that I played this week. So, let's pull that deck up and take a look. So the main theme behind this deck was kind of a mid-range deck. This is one of those decks that probably really would have been good with Uro, and now that because the life loss is pretty brutal on this deck. So during the main phase or beginning phase, you're just trying to kill off your opponent's stuff and set up for your late game, which is going to be Vorinclex and your Planeswalkers. And so one of the ways that I was doing that was with Bloodchief's Thirst, and then putting down your ramp cards like Gilded Goose, and then playing Dream Devourer. And Dream Devourer was like kind of one of the cards that inspired me to make this deck, just because I really love this card. I think it's super cool that it allows you to foretell any card that's in your hand and put it off into the foretell zone and make it cheaper, and it protects it from like hand hate, which if anyone's played Historic for like any time at all, they've been hit by Thoughtseize turn one immediately. You know it's there. There's anyone that runs black pretty much runs Thoughtseize except for me. And then, I ran a couple other things like Scavenging Ooze, and Searching Greatness is actually a really cool card. I threw one off of it in there just to see how it performs, and I really like it. And then let's get into the Planeswalkers that I'm running. Vraska Golgari Queen is really cool. I think I love that she has removal on her, and that's kind of one of the things that I tried to focus on with the Planeswalkers, is make sure that all of them have removal. I had one Questing Beast in here. You could probably take him out, actually. Binding of the Old Gods is a great saga. It also works with ramp. It ramps you as well, and it just hits any permanent on the field and destroys it. Nissa, who shakes the world, is great in this deck because being able to bring her in and then ultimate her immediately and get every plane or forest out of your deck is just crazy. I'm running 2 Battle Mammoths in here. I like this card, but I'm not super hype on it. It performs kind of okay. I just wish it had haste. That's really the downfall to it. Casualties of War is in this deck. Probably could have put a couple more of those in, because that card is just devastating when you get hit by it, especially if you have a diversified board, right? You got a Planeswalker, an artifact, an enchantment, a creature. You can hit, if you hit everything with it, that's like the best feeling when you drop that card.
Absolutely.
And it's the most devastating feeling if you're on the other side of that card.
Yes, it is. I think even if they hit three or four things, like it still is like incredibly devastating. I like whenever I see this and I'm playing, like especially like in the meta, there's a lot of enchantment creatures, so like they can hit your enchantment creature, your other creature, a land, like, and that's like pretty consistent that you can hit with Casualties of War. So it's an incredibly strong card.
Yeah, and being able to foretell it is really cool too, because you can get it out of your hand, protect it, and then it's only a 4-drop later on to shoot it off. So that's pretty cool. I should have had a couple more of those in there. I ran one Ugin the Ineffable because he has removal on him as well, and he's a little bit cheaper. And then Blood in the Snow is one of those cards that I think performed really well in this deck. It's just 6 mana. That's the only downside of it. And you want to play it for all 6 so you can pull something back from your graveyard. I tried to do a little bit of a Reanimator strategy in here. So I put in Eldest Reborn as well, which did not work in the best 1 meta. Maybe that would be good in the best of 3 meta, but the aggro is too wide in best of 1, I feel like. For Eldest Reborn to really work. And then we have the star of the deck, Vorinclex, who is just a ridiculous, Phyrexian Praetor that doubles all of your counters and halves the counters of your opponent. The greatest feeling when you have Vorinclex on the field is when they drop Ugin, the Spirit Dragon, and then it comes in with 3 loyalty on there. You're like, you can't get rid of my Vorinclex. That's the best feeling. And then Liliana Dreadhorde General I put in there because her ultimate, when you drop her in, is just they have to sack. They only get to keep 1 of each permanent type, so it's like 99% chance that they're going to scoop when you hit that ultimate, unless they have you at lethal, which I have lost one time after doing it because the guy had I was at 1 life when I went down, and they had a creature that procced a ping on attack. Burning Rune Demon is actually really cool too. Have you played this card yet?
I've seen it. I've never played it.
It's pretty sweet. So the thing that I liked about it, with like as diverse of a deck as I have here, is that it allows you to grab 2 different cards with different names, right? They can't be the same card. And then your opponent picks one to throw into your graveyard, and then you get the other one. But if you're running a Reanimator strategy, that's kind of great, right? You're like, whatever, as long as I pick a card that I don't mind being in my graveyard that I can pull back, it's a good thing. And then you get whatever other card into your hand. So Burning Rune Demon is really cool. And it's a flying 6/6 demon. So like they have problems when you drop that thing, right? You got something in your graveyard, you got something in your hand, and you have a flying 6/6. So it's a pretty big swing when you get that down. Groot Kirk's Huntsman, and then Ugin the Spirit Dickhead is also in the deck. I don't like Ugin in this deck, mainly because he's like real hard to reanimate. He doesn't reanimate with Blood in the Snow, because you would have to spend 8 mana to be able to pull him back, and you can't do that unless they made the Blood in the Snow cost more, I guess. Then maybe you could, but yeah, that's about it. And then I didn't come up with a sideboard for this because I don't really play best of 3, and I wasn't exactly sure what maybe to put in here besides more removal. I was thinking with black. But before we get into best of 3, what do you think about the best of 1 version of this deck? What edits would you make to this?
So in best of 1, I'd make the same edits in best of 1 that I would in best of 3. I think the deck's fun. Like, I like what you were doing. I think the deck's really cool. I think the gameplay shows, though, it's like it can be pretty inconsistent, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think mostly it's because of the high converted mana cost, right? Because it's trying to achieve something, but you need like certain cards. It's like what you would call a glass cannon almost, right? You need certain cards to be able to get those other ones out. I like it though. I fucking like you said in the video, I think what would make this deck a lot better is if you add white. If you do white, black, green. I think that would make this deck better. And instead, this is actually, I don't know if it'd make it better. This is what I would do though. And like, I'd actually take out a lot of the creatures, except for, I think Gilded Goose is great. But I take out a lot of the Dream Devourers. I take out the, the Battle Mammoth and the Questing Beast. Yeah. And then, and turn it into a, what is the black, white, green? I always remember as junk, but what's that color combination called? Black, white, green? Abzan, yeah, that's right. Yeah. So I would turn it into an Abzan Walker fucking control deck. I think that sounds super sweet. And like now I'm looking at it, I think I kind of want to do it with like good ramp, a lot of removal, and I don't know, like it's got a sweet setup though. I fucking love Planeswalkers. I like the Vorinclex in here. I think that just is a fun card to add, and it's like added bonus. I would, if I was to do that though, I'd have to take out Blood in the Snow or On the Snow, even though that's a sweet card. I understand why you have it in there, but once you go 3 colors, it's hard to do the snow thing, right?
Not only that, I think if you add white, you don't really need Blood in the Snow anyways, because you have way better board wipes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, because then you have Doomscar, you have all the other ones. There's so many good board wipes in white. So that's the main reason that I wanted to put it in there, is because the best of one meta is so wide right now. So I mean, board wipes are almost essential if you're playing anything besides an aggro deck.
Yeah,
you got to have something in there.
I think with white too, you can add in, if you're going to add in a Planeswalker, you can add in, who's that 3-mana white Planeswalker? Not a Johnny, the other one that's also a creature. You plus
Gideon.
Yeah. Because it adds life gain and stuff. Yeah, so like with other things, I would add more creature bait, like Vivian. I'd probably put in here because Vivian makes 3/3s, and then like.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah. And like you can have more protection that way. Yeah, I like this though. I think it was fun. Like watching the video was fun. Yeah, it's the losses was tough, right? Because I was like, oh shit.
I was drunk too while I was playing, and I was like grumpy drunk. I was like,
I mean, bullshit. We wouldn't be the Mana Dorks if we weren't drinking while we were playing, right? Like that's part of it. I liked it. Like the Dream Devourer thing, I think this card is fucking dope. Like I like the idea for telling things and making it cheaper. I wish this had Legendary tacked onto it, so then I could just make a fucking Commander deck out of it.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Or like a Brawl deck out of it. Yeah, I think that would be sweet. But yeah, I think this whole thing is dope. And Ugin, you naughty boy.
Ugin the greasy spirit dragon. He's so he's so greasy and shiny. You know what else is really cool? If you do Abzan as well, as you could put Kaya in there, and Kaya getting her ultimate immediately when her ultimate is disgusting, and she has removal built into her as well, the Inexable one. So I really should do Abzan and take out Dream Devourer. I think Dream Devourer is probably great in Standard, or maybe not. I don't know what Standard is. Standard looks pretty nuts right now too. So
I haven't looked at it once since this new set came out. No.
I played a little bit of it because the Friday Night Magic, they had Standard one. So I made a Tybalt's Trickery deck actually with it. I know.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're banned from the podcast.
It was Standard.
Go.
It was Standard, so I feel no shame because who cares?
Shame. Much shame. Many shames.
I thought I should see how consistent it was, and it's not. It's a stupid deck. So I played a more consistent version of it. So even if it failed, I still had other things that I could play. But it was it was disgusting when it got off, and people just concede. I was like, I can see how this is just some shitty nonsense. But I felt as a Magic connoisseur, I should at least see how disgusting it is, and it is. It's disgusting. Yeah. You should play the thing that you hate, just to see how to defeat it, right?
It's so dumb, dude. I played against it in my video with the life gain deck, and and they whiffed, and it's just even if you hit, like, yeah, you have mentioned this, and like I think we all agree is like it's just not Magic, right? It's just like rolling the dice. That is literally all it is. And yeah, sure, that is Magic sometimes, but it's just like roll the dice and I win, or roll the dice and I lose, and it's like turn 2 do that, and it's just like I don't know. It doesn't feel. It just feels like we're playing a game of craps or something. It's not.
Yeah. Fun. It's just, it makes it like there is that stuff that exists in Magic, but at least most of the time you have somewhat time to be able to interact with them or do something. Yeah. But Tybalt's it's turn 2. So it just makes it like very apparent that you're not playing with them at all. They're just doing whatever their nonsense is, and then they explode. But
which turn 2 wins is fine if you're playing Legacy or something, right? Because you have ways to interact with that. But in this, you have no ways to interact with it.
No. Yeah, it's nonsense. All right, so back to Vorinclex and away from Tybalt's bullshit. So what would you do for best of 3 for the sideboard in this one?
Well, considering I changed the main board a lot just if I was going to play it, because but like for the sideboard, it just be, more control package stuff, Thoughtseize, always. Whenever there is black, always Thoughtseize. If it's not in the main board, always put it in the sideboard. I can't stress that enough.
Yeah, for sure.
It's one of the most powerful cards in Historic. It's one of the most powerful cards in 1v1 any format. That more removal packages, I think it would be good. And then, it just really depends on the meta, right? Like anti-life gain, I think, is really good right now because life gain is huge.
Yeah, that's true.
Authority of the Council, if you're adding white, definitely in the sideboard. I may even put that in the main board if I'm using white, just because it's so fucking strong. That card is so good.
It is. Yeah. Another one that's really good too is just Solemnity. I feel like just really messes up a lot of decks. I mean, the life gain decks, all the counters and stuff. The poison counters, you can't get those with it. So Solemnity does a lot of work. It also stops all sagas from working. A saga needs to put on a counter to be able to work. So if Vorinclex stops it, and Solemnity stops it as well. So you would have to take out Binding of the Old Gods if you put that in. But that's one of the good things about a sideboard, is you can move things around. One of the things that I was thinking about is whenever you're running something that's like heavy on walkers, you need to be afraid of the Immortal Sun. Right, especially in best of 3, if people are going to start sideboarding that in. So probably some artifact removal would be good to have, whatchamacallit, Heliod's Intervention, probably. That card is great. And it's also life gain, too. I really love that card. The duality of it like that, where you can just destroy a bunch of artifacts and enchantments or gain double life. Pretty sweet card. Anything else you can think of for the sideboard?
No, I think it's a sweet deck. I think it... Like I said, it looks like a lot of fun. It is fucking expensive in rares. My God. And it would be even more if you added white. It would be even more mythics and rare wild cards in there. So
and the land base will go through the roof too. Yeah, with the rares. Yeah, so luckily
it shows right here on Aether Hub, 26 rares, 13 mythics. That's what you have right now. Probably if you go Abzan, it'll be more like 30 to 35 rares, and probably around the same amount of mythics. 15.
Yeah, and this is not the funny thing is it's so full of that stuff, and this is not something that I would take to ranked if I wasn't doing that video. It's fun to play in the play queue, but I would not take this to ranked unless you were doing the changes that we just talked about to this deck. I would not take it as it is into ranked again. I mean, I was able to maintain a 50% ratio, but I'm not the worst player most of the time. So. And and it was struggles. I won a lot of games with 1 or 2 life where I'm just clinging, I got the ultimate.
Those wins feel really good.
They do, but they're also at the same time you're like,
absolutely.
Don't hit me with lightning bolts or something, or stomp or anything.
Right. Basically, when you're at 3 life and you're playing against a mono red deck, it's and they have no cards, you're like, please don't top deck a fucking lightning bolt.
They drop a line. You're like, oh, okay, I got one more turn. Got one turn. Must kill them now. Yeah, so this was fun. I like doing this. I like going over these deck techs and seeing what you would change in there. And yeah, I like the changes that you made. And anybody else that's listening, what do you guys think about this deck? What kind of changes would you make? Do you agree with what me and Drunken Dork said? Do you think this would be better as an Abzan deck? I do. I think it'd be more expensive, but I probably will try and turn this into an Abzan deck. Let us know what you think. Do you guys like these deck techs? I do. So I think we're going to keep doing them for our decks. So that was our main phase. And then after our main phase, we move on to the combat phase. And for combat tonight, we're going to talk about Strixhaven. That's right.
What?
You didn't. That's right. You heard me. There is already Strixhaven previews because WOTC is out of control. I don't know. There's been like 5,000. What are those new cards that they come out with in the box? These secret layers. Yeah, they've dropped like 20 secret layers already. And now there's already Strixhaven previews when Kaldheim is like, what, 2 weeks old or something?
Yeah.
They're already.
Yep.
So, yeah, I mean, they just want to get you hyped into getting the next set. And you know what? It worked. I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. And so I didn't even know that they did this right before we started spinning up the podcast. You were just like, did you know? I thought you hit your head or something. You're like, Strixhaven previews are out. I was like, no, that's got to be like some fake memes or something that someone put up. Nope. Legit. From WOTC.
Yeah, dude, WOTC is like hard line fucking strapping a line to my vein. Like, here you go, information about new sets, like day after day. Like, hey, by the way, what is the one? There's another set that they were spoiling cards for, the fucking remastered set. Have you seen? Oh, Time Spiral Remastered.
Oh, yeah,
that they're also revealing, which looks really dope. But like, what the hell, man? Like, I'm still like excited about Kaldheim, and you're showing me fucking Harry Potter. I mean Strixhaven, and you know, like, what the heck? This is crazy. You know, it's only a matter of time until Wizards of the Coast has their own fucking credit card line. I'm not kidding when I say
oh my god,
that.
shut up. You're giving them ideas already.
It's gonna happen. They're gonna have one tied to Arena.
Yeah.
And it's like every dollar you spend, you get a jewel or like a fucking coin or something.
You get gold. You get gold in Arena or something.
Yeah, something awful like that. Which I fucking probably get it because, you know, I'm ridiculous. But
saving money at this point, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Don't give them ideas. That's terrible. It's if there's any chance that any of them are watching this podcast, you know, they're just like, I got an idea.
Yeah.
I got an idea. Call the board meeting.
Right.
Hasbro. Visa.
Yeah.
Just like genius. All right.
Yeah, this Strixhaven, though, it does look sick.
It does. So. Okay, so for combat, let's talk about what we think will be the strongest card out of these in Historic, and which one do we think will be the worst card. I think we have a clear loser already in mind, but let's go over these real quick. Drunk Dork, walk us through these 5 commands. And what are commands? First of all, you know, are big into the commands. You know about the history of them. Why don't you explain that real quick?
I mean, commands are something that Magic has had for a long time, you know, with popular ones like Abzan Command and Cryptic Command and like all these commands. Like, I forget what set they started in, but they did them again in like Khans of Tarkir, whatever. Yeah, Khans of Tarkir, and then I think they did them again in another set. So they've been doing them over and over, and it's basically a card that has multiple choices, and you can generally choose 1 or 2, and or I think even some of them are 3. They have like the commander versions of the commands too. But here we are. I'll start it off. I'm reading them straight out of MTG Goldfish, and the first one is Lorehold Command. It is 3 red-white for an instant at rare, and it says choose to create a 3/2 red and white spirit creature token. That's okay. I mean, for 5 mana, whatever. 3/2, give me something a little bit better. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain indestructible and haste until end of turn. Now that is pretty sweet, but haste is like completely fucking irrelevant because this is a 5 mana card.
This is 5 right? drop, like, yeah.
I don't understand that part of it. How about gain indestructible and double strike? It's 5 mana, right? This is expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is Lorehold command deals 3 damage to any target. Target player gains 3 life. Okay. That's actually, I think, one of the better ones in here.
Yeah.
And then sacrifice a permanent, then draw 2 cards. That's weird.
What?
Right?
Yeah. That's not white or red.
No, it's neither. Can you think of maybe you guys out there can think of an instance where white or red has something like this tied to it, but I can't think of one. That's black and green, generally.
Yeah, I can think of a black card that I see all the time that does that, which is what is it? The black 1-drop that's run in the Sakdos decks all the time right now. Wow, what is it? Why can't I
forget what it's called, but there's a bunch of cards in black that do that. It's like super common. In white or red, I don't ever see it, but I mean, hey, Boros, everyone's been crying for card draw, so at 5 mana, you can draw 2 cards.
If you sack a permanent,
Yeah, if you sack a permanent.
At least it's just a permanent, and it's not like a creature or something. Still.
Yeah, I guess that is different from black, because black is generally sack a creature, draw cards.
That's true.
This is a permanent.
Woo.
But yeah, so that's Lorehold command. What do you think of that one?
Oh, man, yeah. I think that is definitely a clear runner for the worst of these commands, unfortunately. And which sucks because I love Boros, too. I really love Boros. It has a special place in my heart. Maybe that's just because I root for the underdog, and WOTC just hates Boros for some reason. They just consistently give them bad cards. And then this is another example of that, I think. Yep. I mean, in comparison to the other ones, for sure. So, yeah.
All right, so the next one is Prismari command, which is 1 blue-red for an instant at rare. These are all at rare, so I'm going to stop saying that. And it says choose to. Prismari command deals 2 damage to any target, which is pretty good, right?
Good, yeah.
For 3 mana, I think that's fine, especially when there's these other things. Target player draws 2 cards, then discards 2 cards. That's fucking great. So
that's really
deal 2,
good.
draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards on a 3 mana instant is really good.
Oh, yeah.
But that's not it. Target player creates a treasure token. That's very mediocre. This last one is great. Destroy target artifact.
The
versatility on this is really good.
Yeah. This is amazing. It's doing so many things that it wants to do, too. The draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards. The deal damage. The treasure token could be relevant for ramping, I guess. I mean, and then destroy artifact. It's like this card is just good in any situation, I feel like, right? This is a great card.
I agree. I really like this one. So this is the best one so far.
Yep.
And then next we have Quandrix command, which is, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but it's 1 green-blue, and it is also an instant. It says choose to return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. That's okay. Counter target artifact or enchantment spell. That's fucking weird.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
It's so specific.
Yeah.
Put to, I mean, I guess, now that I think about it, and we talked about it earlier when we were talking about that destroy, an artifact, a creature, a land, like that. I guess it is relevant, because there are a lot of enchantments in Historic right now.
Yeah.
And artifacts. So this could be relevant. Then the next one is put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. That's fucking boring.
Simic nonsense.
And what was that?
I said Simic boringness. Yeah.
And then target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library. Okay, so me and Hoshi talked about this earlier, and I said I think this is one of the worst ones, but I'm reading it now, and thinking about it, I actually think this is pretty good because it is an instant.
Yeah.
A target player shuffles up to 3 target cards from their graveyard into their library. So this has potential to really fuck with Jund Sacrifice, which is one of the top decks in the meta right now.
Yeah.
And because it counters artifacts, and you can counter that fucking awful cat oven.
Yes.
So I actually think this is a pretty good one. What do you think?
I do. It reminds me of Sublime Epiphany, I think it is, which is the 6-drop counter spell in blue, where it can counter something and then it returns something. You can pick something from like every mode in that one. So it's crazy because it's a 6-drop. So this is like a mini version of that, I think, right? Because you get to pick 2. So you can counter an instant or something, or not an instant, an artifact or enchantment, but then you have to do something else with it too. So I feel like this is a mini version of that. So I do think it's good, but it's very situational, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's okay. It's definitely not the as bad as the Boros one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think so. This might work good in like a green-blue flash deck if those like start doing good again in historic, right? Because it's a really good tempo play, which is what green-blue flash is.
It is.
Return target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand, I think actually could be relevant in tempo, or it is relevant for sure. Oh yeah. And then having the instant speed of returning stuff from a graveyard into a library is really good against, like I said, against Junsack.
Yeah.
Because when they're trying to cash shit or return shit out of their graveyard, you're like, no.
Yeah. Or if they put one of your win conditions in your graveyard, you might need that back in your deck. And so being able to do that and interact with them, or do 2 things to them, like that Junsack deck, get rid of their cat, put it back in their library, and then also return, a creature that they have to their hand at the same time. That's devastating tempo play to somebody. So and on a 3-mana card, it's good. I mean, whenever you get 2 things out of a card like that, these are definitely going to see play. I think so. Yeah. This one, it's pretty good. It's better than I think we initially thought it was. Yeah.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And then the next one is Silver Quill Command. Silver Quill. Fuck, dude. This is like, obviously this is supposed to be Harry Potter, but it's so like it's so fucking Harry Potter. It's cringy. So this is 2 white-black for a sorcery. So this is the first sorcery out of the commands, and it says choose 2. Target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. That's kind of cool, I guess. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, it's strong.
Yeah, so at instant speed, it'd be much stronger.
Yeah, that's true. That is a big downside of this card.
And then it says return target creature card with mana value. That's a weird way of wording it. With mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. I've never seen a card something worded that way. I wonder if that's like just a new thing they're going to start doing.
Instead of CMC, they're saying mana value.
Yeah. I wonder if that plays a role on what you can grab.
Maybe it's just saving room on the card though too, because converted mana cost is 3 words, where
mana
card
values
with mana value. Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it achieves the same thing. But that's pretty good there. That's a good play.
Yeah, it's great.
And then target player draws a card and loses 1 life. Yeah, that's pretty good. I guess for 4 mana, if you're doing 2 things, that drawing a card is always a good thing. It's a 1-for-1 at least, right? Or a 2-for-1. And then finally, target opponent sacrifices a creature. That's great.
Yeah, that could be good. Definitely.
What do you think of this card overall?
Man, I really like this card a lot. I think it's really suffering from the sorcery part of it. That if this was an instant, it would take it from just like being okay to being amazing, I think. It's versatile. I feel like it's not as versatile as a lot of the other ones. I like the draw card part. That's always nice if you're screwed. I mean, 4 CMC is kind of a bit for this too, but I mean, it feels like Orzhov. Orzhov kind of gets screwed a little bit too with their CMC costs on their powerful stuff. So I like it. I don't have the warm fuzzy feelings like some of the other ones that I do with this one.
Yeah, I feel actually the same. It's funny. Yeah, when we talked about these cards earlier, we're like, we had an obvious one that we didn't like, and then we had ones that we did like, and now that I'm reading them again, It's weird. I do this a lot with Magic. I'm reading it for the second time. I'm like, well, I guess this one actually isn't as good as I initially thought.
No.
When you start thinking of like the, what's going on in the meta and stuff a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it draws a card. Like that might be all you get out of this thing, right? Or maybe they sack a creature too for 4.
Sacking a creature is always, I think, is generally it's a good play. I don't know, like it depends. Like sometimes, there's so much aggro, right? That like they could be like, oh, I'm going to sack a token, and then you're like, oh, that was worth nothing.
Yeah, there went my goblin token. Oh no.
The return target creature card though is good, and it's super relevant because there's a lot of good creatures in Historic that are 2 or less.
That's true. Very true.
So I'm going to move on to the last one we have, and it's Wither Bloom Command. It is a black and a green for a Golgari, and it is also a sorcery. It says, choose 2. Target player mills 3 cards, then you return a land card from your graveyard to your hand. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Then it says, destroy target non-creature, non-land permanent with mana value 2 or the mana value again with mana value 2 or less. That's fucking sweet.
Oh yeah, that's great.
And then we have target creature gets -3/-1 until end of turn. Also really good.
Yeah, definitely.
And finally, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. This is, I think, the worst one out of all of these, but also not bad.
No. Yeah.
So, what do you think of this card?
I think it's really powerful actually. For 2 mana, you're able to get a card back from your graveyard, right? A land back from your graveyard. So that's really good early game. I feel like this card is super powerful in the early game, right? Because you can get a card or a land out of your graveyard, and then you can kill something for 2 CMC, right? Or maybe higher, because you can get something -3, -1. So something is has 1 toughness, you can kill something else. So you might be able to kill 2 creatures with this card potentially. And then if you don't have anything else, if you have nothing going on, you can still use this to get a land out of your graveyard, and you can ping them for 2 and then gain 2 life. So you can drain them for 2 basically. So I feel like this card is just good in a lot of situations. It's not going to be like a dud card in a lot of situations. I think it's good. I think this is very powerful.
I agree 100%. You can't kill 2 creatures, but you can kill 2 things. You can kill a creature, and you can kill a non-creature, non-land permanent. And
oh yeah, you're right. Sorry about that. Non-creature, non-land. Okay, so that's weird, but yeah, not as good.
I think it's still very relevant.
Yeah.
I think this card's super good. It's really good in the early game. I think Historic is an incredibly quick format.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I mean, you can get rid of Authority of the Consuls, right? And you can get rid of a 1-drop with those 2 abilities on turn 2,
Yeah.
And I think that's strong. You can get rid of the cat, you can get rid of the oven, and you can gain 2 life and they lose 2 life, like something like that. It's pretty versatile, like all of these. And I think this is really, really good. So now that those are the 5 spoilers from Strixhaven. So what do you think is the best one?
Okay, so best one I think is the Prismari command. Okay. That's my pick is the best one. I think it's just it's 3 mana. It's an instant. It's doing everything that Izzet wants to do. So I think it slots into any Izzet deck very well, because you're dealing damage, you're drawing, you're discarding, which Izzet wants to put stuff in the graveyard almost always, right? And then you can ramp with it, treasure tokens, so you can get up to 1,000-Year Storm maybe if that's your goal of the deck, and you can destroy an artifact with it. I just think this card's very, very good for the mana cost. It's going to replace, I think, a lot of cards in current Izzet decks. Yeah, that's Sweet. What about you? What do you think your strongest one is?
I mean, I really like that one. I think I'm actually really excited for this set because it's gonna have a lot of wizards. I think we're both gonna like that a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Wizard Jank coming back. Stay tuned.
Oh baby, yeah. I'm gonna be playing a bunch of like 50-50 decks. Like definitely when this set comes out. I agree. I think this one's really powerful, and it's really hard for me to decide. I like before it was like no doubt it was Witherbloom command to me. But like, man, after reading all of these again, I don't know. It's just crazy, but I think fuck. I think it might be Quandrix command. I really like this now. This is such a good tempo play card. Like the counters aren't that important, but I don't know.
I think I'm gonna go Witherbloom. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go Witherbloom command. Okay. I think this one's great. I think both, like you said, Prismari and Witherbloom, I think that these are good in almost every situation.
Yeah.
Because you can always, like, I think even if you're drawing this on turn 5, there's a lot of times in Historic where both these cards will matter.
Yeah. So what is your favorite card out of these, though? Which one do you like the most that you don't think is the most fun?
I think it's a Quandrix command now, just because I like blue-green tempo so much. Like, I like tempo-style decks, and I want this to be a thing that works.
Yeah, I agree. I really want Silver Quill command to be better, and that was my favorite card at first. But then after reading over him, I feel it's a little lackluster, unfortunately. Yeah. I don't think it's gonna feel ever super great to play this card. Where the Quandrix command is, I don't feel will always be really good in every situation. Like the Prismari command, I think is always going to be a good card. Where the Quandrix command is very situational, but I think this is a devastating card if you get it to go off right, and it could feel amazing, right, to just get that huge tempo swing on somebody. Yeah. So I think this is going to be the most fun card out of these for sure. And last, which one is the worst one of these?
I think we can both strongly agree which is the worst one here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's obviously Lorehold, right? Like, what the fuck?
Wizards,
like, make a good red-white card. Were they making this for Commander, I wonder? Like, because 5 mana in Commander is, depending on what, if you're playing, like, a mid to low tier deck, like this could be like, you can do some really cool shit with it, but
yeah, I guess this card just doesn't make any sense either. There's 2 parts of this card that make sense, where it's you get the indestructible and the haste, and then you get the ping, the drain effect, where Boros has drain effects for some reason like that. But I don't understand the make the 3/2 spirit token. What? And then the sacrifice permanent and draw 2 cards. It's such a weird card, and it's badly costed. I'm not loving the art on it either. Why must you do this to Boros? Why must you do this?
Yeah, I really don't understand why it says +1/+0 and indestructible and haste. Like, I get it, those are all very red-white, but it's like, haste is so irrelevant in this line of text, because it's a 5. You mentioned this, and I agree 100%, and it's just like, why are you giving haste? Like, you're not it's not like you're in fucking Boros, it's not like you're ramping out into like Oblivion and then casting a fucking creature and then this to give it haste, and it's never gonna happen.
No, you're so mana screwed all the time in Boros because there's no mana ramp in it. There's no ramp in that deck. There's you can get mana up to the point that someone else has mana, right? That's how Boros is allowed to get lands, is like land tax and all that kind of stuff, where you're allowed to get lands, but you're not allowed to surpass anybody on lands. They just screw Boros so badly. It's
Maybe it's meant to be a good Naya card. That's it. You
Maybe
have to have green to make this good.
I mean, doesn't green make everything better?
That's true.
Pretty much.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that's it, right? Do you got anything else for Strixhaven spoilers?
I mean, so far so good. Seeing versatile cards like this is always really good. It's a good indication that there's going to be exciting cards. They're not super duper fucking powerful, like like Oko or Uro, where those are pretty versatile as well. But they're not attached to a creature, which makes me feel good. It's still an instant or a sorcery, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I feel like at least in Historic right now, the meta is so creature focused too. So like introducing some stuff like this will, I think, mix it up really well. And these look really good, and I think these will be played, or at least a couple of them will.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
Silver Quill and Lordhorn Command probably not, but the other three we will definitely see, I'm sure. So, you guys, what do you think? Do you guys like these command cards? Are you guys going to play any of these cards? Which one's your favorite? And do any of you think Lordhorn Command is a legit card that should be produced for? If you did think that, I want you to go and dunk your head in the toilet and hold.
Yeah, shame. Big shames.
Hold it there for a while until. All right, never mind. So let's. That was about to get real dark.
Yeah, it was. My God.
Until the light leaves your eyes. All right, and then, so we'll just move on. Now, that was combat, and we'll move on to the next phase. Main phase 2. The horseshit card game. Woo! I love this game. Even though I don't win the most. Oh, wait, no, I do. I usually win the most out of this. Yeah, so that's why I love this. I do like winning. So, Drunken Dork, horseshit card game. Take it away.
All right, everybody. So this is the horseshit card game where I open up a pack of cards, and I usually pick out 3, and I have a fake one. And it's up to, usually these 2 drunken idiots to figure out which one that fake one is. But since it's only Hoshi today, I'm opening a pack, and I will only pick out 2. So you'll have 3 cards to pick from. Ooh. One of them is fake, like always. Oh, and I'm sorry. I got Fate Reforged.
Oh, so I do not know that set. Okay.
This is the 3-color one. You were playing Magic then.
Maybe.
Fate Reforged is from it's like where Ugin was originally introduced.
Oh, okay.
Your favorite card.
Yeah.
That's where Abzan came from, and Sultai and stuff.
Okay. Oh, the shards.
Yeah, that's where they got their official names, at least.
Okay. Why do they call them shards, by the way?
Because it's 3 colors. Mm-hmm. So like that is the I don't know why it's a shard. I'm sure someone knows out there. Tell us. I'm too lazy to look on the internet.
Because I know why the the Boros and all those ones, they got their name from the Ravnica guilds. I'm not super into lore, even though I was watching some stuff on the Kaldheim lore, which is just so chaotic. It's all over the place. Have you read any of the lore on it, or listened to any of it?
I mean, I will say the lore in general is just fucking all over the place.
It's trash. Yeah, it's so trash. I want it to be better. I really thought War of the Spark is where the lore was going to get better, because it seemed like they were trying to do this like whole Avengers thing, like summon the Avengers or the Gatewatch or whatever, and they show up and they're going to fight Nicola Bolas and all this, and then that story sucked too. I was like, come on, how'd you screw that up?
Yeah, I think it's just, it's hard because it's been going for so long, and how the fuck do you explain like jumping from planes to planes and stuff? It's just like a convoluted thing to begin with. I think. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
I have my cards. So here we go. The first card is going to be Douse in Gloom. It is 2 and a black for an instant at common. And it says, Douse in Gloom deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life.
Okay.
All right. The next one is Temur Rune Mark. It is 2 and a green for an enchantment aura at common, and it says, Enchant creature. Enchant creature gets +2/+2. Enchanted creature has trample as long as you control a blue or red permanent.
Okay.
And then the final one is Abzan Defender. It is 3 and a white for a creature human soldier at common. It says, whenever another creature enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. And it is a 1/4.
Okay, wait, one more time on that last one. It was...
So it's Abzan Defender. Okay. It is 3 and a white for a creature human soldier at common. And it says, whenever another creature enters the battlefield or dies, you gain 1 life. And it is a 1/4.
Okay.
So those are the 3 cards. What do you think, Hoshi?
Those are the 3. I think I'm gonna go with the Teamer one.
Teamer Rune Mark.
Yeah, I think it's Teamer Rune Mark.
Okay.
Final answer.
Final answer. Mm-hmm. Well, buddy, you are wrong this week.
Oh no. What was it?
It was Abzan Defender.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Abzan Defender is not a card. I don't know. There are many cards that do similar things.
Yeah.
But this one is not.
Okay. Nice.
So valiant effort, but
oh well.
This guy's
yeah. Yeah, he got it.
Yeah.
Well, nice.
Sweet.
Nice. Congrats.
Thank you. I guess my rare card, I'm sorry, I'll share it. It's not too bad. There could have been some way better ones I got. It's Outpost Siege, which is a good commander card. It's 3 in a red for an enchantment. And it says, as Outpost Siege enters the battlefield, choose cons or dragons. If you choose cons, it's at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library until end of turn, you may play that card. So it's really good. It's like card draw, right?
Yeah. I have that. Yeah, it's a good card.
And then dragons, whenever a creature you control leaves the battlefield, Outpost Siege deals 1 damage to target creature or player, which is also pretty good. Pretty versatile.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool card. I just thought the modalness, I thought it was stupid the way that they named it, where you pick like cons or dragons or whatever.
I
like,
agree.
What? Just
I picked one or the
I picked like, dragons.
Right, whenever I play cards like this in Commander, I'm like I don't know what I'm picking right now. I'm just going to say what it is. And people are like, okay. Yeah. No one's
like, wait, was that the cons or the dragons one?
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid wizards. All right, so that was the horseshit card game. How'd you guys do? Did you guys win? Did you guys get it? I know Apollo didn't. I mean,
he'll say he did though. He'll come back and he'll be like,
probably will. According to him, if I lose, he wins. So, but I mean, he probably doesn't have internet right now. Anyways, he's like out on the in his cardboard box somewhere.
Yeah.
So that was main phase 2, and now we're gonna move into the end step. And our end step is where we talk about nerdy stuff outside the world of Magic. But you know what? It's getting a little bit long in the episode, so I think we are gonna nix this one this time, unless you have anything really pressing that you want to talk about, Drunken.
No. Yeah, no, not at all.
No? Okay, cool. All right, so that was our end step. We're going to move into cleanup now, which is just social media promos. You can follow us at all the things that we have on the screen right now and all the things that we put down in the description. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter. We're on all this stuff. So also make sure you give us a like and a subscribe, because that's what you're supposed to do apparently on YouTube, and that makes a big difference, I guess. So, and that's what everyone says. So, hey, if you do that, it's nice. It makes us feel good. When we see new subscribers, we know that people likes it, and
agreed.
Yeah. It's nice to see. And thanks for all the comments and everything that everyone's been giving us too.
Absolutely.
We definitely listen to your guys' feedback. So that was our cleanup phase. And now we move into the most traumatizing phase of our podcast, which is the discard phase. And in the discard phase, we pound the drinks that we have yet to finish tonight. So, Drunken Dork, cheers, buddy.
Cheers.
See you guys next week.
Bye, everybody.
Hello. Oh, man.